welcome to Studio 5. Here's what's ahead on today's show.
Rebecca St. James and Cubbie Fink explore love, music, family, and faith.
Telling our stories of what God has done helps us to encourage others.
A Disney classic.
What's the matter? Cat got your tongue?
Comes to life on the big screen.
Whistle while you work.
And the Steel Curtain leader sets the stage on and off the field.
Having the perspective that my work is my worship.
Can't wait to share those stories, so let's jumpstart this week's Top 5 countdown so we can get to it.
At number 5.
Hello there, I am Tabitha Brown. Let me introduce you to Little Me.
America's mom, actress, author, and vegan chef cooks up something new.
Little Tabitha loves the sunshine. Hello there, sun. Show us your shine. Whenever you're out, everything's fine. But one morning, when the sun isn't there, Tab makes it her business to find it.
She's written her first children's book with a familiar face and phrase filling the pages.
She doesn't find it while painting or playing or helping her friends, but soon she realizes even on the grayest day, maybe the sunshine was inside all along, just waiting to say, hello there, sunshine.
At number 4.
Walking through the valley of the shadow of death. When you think you got nothing left, keep going.
4-time Grammy-winning rapper and Academy Award-winning actor Will Smith dropped his gospel single nearly a year ago. And now,
Fly as an eagle, fresh out of Philly. Yeah, I still rep the city. Mirrors on the wall, worth $500 million.
Will Smith is making his return to the music world. He posted on Instagram over the weekend that his new album, called Based on a True Story, will drop in about 2 weeks. It's made up of 9 new songs, plus 5 previously released singles. His last album came out all the way back in 2005.
Rebecca St. James and her husband Cubbie Fink have a new book. It's a journey of navigating love, music, family, and faith.
Hi, everyone. We want to invite you into a really special moment.
There it is. Wow.
What the heck?
Our first book.
It's called Lasting Ever, Faith, Music, Family, and Being Found by True Love.
You two meet, what happens? Eyes connect. Let me hear your perspective and your perspective.
Yeah.
What do you remember most?
Well, it was pretty magical for me. I have a song that I wrote probably 10 years prior to meeting him, maybe even more than that had become a big song of mine. And it was all about how I'm waiting for my husband, wait for me. There's a line in the song that says, waiting for the look in your eyes when we meet for the first time. And when we did meet and our eyes connected across the room, there was this magic thing that was just so special. And it was a moment. I love that the song kind of like prophetically, I don't know, anticipated an event that actually happened, which is really, really sweet.
I had never heard that song. I didn't have this preconceived notion of who she was or have her up on a pedestal. So that initial moment of our eyes locking from across the room was 100% authentic. And it's kind of crazy how much time seemed to kind of slow down, and I was able to get a glimpse of her soul in just in an instant. And then we made our way across the room and ended up talking for 2 or 3 hours that night. And I think we both knew pretty quickly that there was something there.
Now, most people, we hear that and think, oh, what a fairy tale. But we know just in life and relationships, there are highs and lows. And 100%. You guys share the lows. You, singer, have no voice.
Right, yeah. It was really burnout, I think, that brought on, and so emotional burnout that brought on kind of a physical response that was happening with my voice. And I would just, these certain nights during my show, just like be struggling to breathe. It was almost like a panic attack. And I think it was really a part of me realizing I've got to listen to my body. My body is saying something. It's red light warning. I've got to slow down and maybe stop music for a while. And so a year into our marriage, I did do that. And it was a real time of rebirth in a way for me, or like finding my identity outside of music, because I was nearly 20 years into my music journey at that point. So it was a healthy stopping that needed to happen for sure.
And we begin to hear your story. There's some memories you don't recall.
I had a kind of a block in my memory, just an empty space where everything else in my life was filled with just vivid memories of exquisite detail, and for whatever reason I just had a season where I couldn't remember anything, and that was always strange to me and always a bit of a just kind of a question mark on my soul. And years later, through some other challenging circumstances that we were in the middle of, just felt the need to process whatever was going on in there, and through walking through it with Jesus, found healing and freedom on the other side that has been pretty remarkable.
What made you to decide that you would share your love story? It's nice to hear the different voices from chapter to chapter going back and forth. What made you decide we need to share this story?
Telling our stories of what God has done helps us to encourage others that they can apply that same kind of hope or story of restoration or story of redemption to their own life, you know, and can lift their spirits maybe if they're in a challenging time. So that's what we hope the book will do, and that was really a big part of the motivation.
You make everything beautiful. In its time, in your time, it's beautiful.
Lasting Ever is now available wherever you purchase your reading material. Still to come, a first look at the new live-action adaptation of Snow White.
The values of Snow White, the kindness, her beauty, the way she treats wildlife and all of the people that she meets.
At number 3.
Take this and eat it. This is my body given for you.
The new film, The Last Supper, is a look at Jesus' last days through the eyes of his followers. It's in theaters now.
Whoever eats my flesh, drinks my blood, remain in me, and I in them.
Singer and songwriter Chris Tomlin is executive producer.
One of the things I love about this movie, it's so theologically accurate. It's so right on the money. So much of it is God's word just brought to life. I can't wait for you to experience the Last Supper and be moved by its powerful message.
At number 2.
Welcome to the 32nd Annual Movie Guide Awards.
Welcome to the 32nd Annual Movie Guide Awards.
Snapshots from this year's awards honoring films and television shows that uplift and inspire audiences.
Here, in the heart of Hollywood, we are honoring the brightest voices of the film and television industries last year.
Among the night's big winners, the Best Christmas Pageant Ever took home Best Family Film, and the Faith and Freedom Award went to Reagan in the movie category.
Welcome to the 32nd Annual Movie Guide Awards.
Welcome back to Studio 5. The 1937 classic Snow White told the story of a princess joining forces with 7 new friends to fight evil. The classic story is now being told in a new live-action adaptation.
This was my father's kingdom, a place of fairness, but the Queen changed everything.
Take him away!
Your Majesty.
You know, we treated this film with such honor to the original film, and, you know, you need to respect the classic, and essentially this was the movie that really started Disney.
The original Snow White, it didn't break the mold, it created the mold. Somehow Walt Disney connects to something inside of us, a kind of childlike wonder and optimism.
There's so much from this animated movie that we have taken from and used in our own. A lot of it with the design of the costumes and the designs of the set pieces.
Action. First day I was shooting, I was a little nervous because I'm doing something that is so iconic. All of a sudden, I'm the evil queen and I get to say that? Magic mirror on the wall. Who's the fairest one of all? We started working on the different looks for the evil queen, and the amount of research that Sandy Powell, our costume designer, showed, it was like magic.
This is based on the original iconic look of the evil queen, and I think it's a really striking look.
What did you think I was?
Nothing. Ghost.
When you think about Snow White, there's so much iconography.
Your bickering won't fix a thing, so whistle while you work.
Its place in history is very specific and incredibly powerful, and we wanted to honor it.
Whistle while you work.
It's an absolutely beautiful homage to a film that continues to mean so much to people.
The story is fantastic. The music is incredible. And I can't wait for the world to see it.
Magic mirror on the wall. Who is the fairest of them all?
Famed is thy beauty, majesty. But a lovely maiden I now behold.
The people need some kindness.
You know, I really don't remember you being this opinionated.
Just the values of Snow White, the kindness, her beauty, the way she treats wildlife and all of the people that she meets.
My parents always said this forest was a magical place. Hello? Is there anybody here?
It really is a story about, I think, the power of friendship.
You'll be safe from the Queen here.
And the power of pure love and goodness.
This is our kingdom, and now we're here to take it back.
You were saying.
Snow White begins its run in theaters nationwide Friday, March 21st. Right now it's time for this week's Story in Pictures.
Fans, friends, and the family of beloved R&B singer Angie Stone came out for 2 memorials to celebrate her historic life. One in South Carolina, where she was born, and another in Georgia, where she lived. The guest list was star-studded. Stone was a singer, songwriter, actress, and record producer who first rose to fame in the late 1970s as a member of the hip-hop trio The Sequence. In the early 1990s, she became a member of the R&B trio Vertical Hold, and an unforgettable solo career followed until her death in a recent car accident.
And that is a look at this week's Studio 5 Snapshot. Ahead, Pittsburgh Steelers linebacker Highsmith find out why he says intensity and passion are his forms of worship.
I just know that if it wasn't for Jesus, I wouldn't be where I am or doing what I'm doing today. I know that he's laid every step for me.
And welcome back to Studio 5. Here's a look at the #1 story making headlines in the world of uplifting entertainment this week.
At number 1.
Bart, you didn't write this song in 10 minutes. Took a lifetime. How'd you do this?
You know, I've never told anybody my story.
The 2018 hit I Can Only Imagine is getting a sequel.
Mercy me, that can't be his real voice.
Because I needed it. Dad, I can do this.
No, you can't. And you're going to blink your eyes and you're going to realize that life has gotten you nowhere because you chased some stupid dream.
The cast is set with new and returning talent. Filming begins in Nashville in just a matter of weeks.
I want you to know that I pray for you all the time. And I hope that you find whatever it is that you're looking for out there.
And producers are seeking extras for large group scenes. As for the new storyline,
the story that was pitched was like I Can Only Imagine was an incomplete half, and it just finished the story. There was such symmetry. You know, I won't give the details of the story away, but the dynamic of now Bart as the father having to figure out how to connect with his son who's really, really struggling with his health situation. It's like there's a symmetry to that. And then if Imagine the destination is that destination of hope, then even if it's really about gratitude for the journey.
The Pittsburgh Steelers defensive line is known as the Steel Curtain. Linebacker Highsmith is the leader of the group and shares how he sets the tone on the gridiron and in the locker room.
My work is my worship. And going out there, it's just a reminder to me that he's blessed me with the talents and the abilities that I had, and the way that I play, the intensity, the passion, the effort that I play with, that's my worship back to God. So just having that perspective, I think, is key. When adversity hits and it strikes in a game, it's easy to, you can freak out and could be something going wrong or something like that, but he really keeps me calm and steady throughout the game, and he's intimate with me just in the game. Ultimately, nothing can truly satisfy us like the love of Christ. It is awesome and satisfying to win games in the NFL and have the goal of the Super Bowl. We want to get to it and we want to win, but I think ultimately knowing as a follower of Christ that our ultimate satisfaction comes from Christ. Football is an amazing game, but it's a terrible God. If we put all our identity in it, it'll let us down at times, and so continue to rely on Him through the ups and downs of this game. What matters most is I know that I'm a child of God because of we're followers of Christ. He gives us that drive and that passion to want to do great things on the field, go out there and make plays to help the team win. Just the way that this business is, guys are in and out. There's new teams every year, and so in some cases you only have a 6-month window with some guys to be able to build a relationship with them, share Christ with them. And so I think just being really intentional with the time that you have, especially your locker mates, the ones to your left and to your right. I think God places those people beside us for a reason, and building relationships is huge, and especially to be a great team, you got to be tight. God has made us to be in relationship. We're not, the devil thrives in isolation, and so I think God going before us and knowing that He's already there. I know that I've been given this platform. I've been blessed with this platform to be a blessing to others and not for our own personal gain. Something that I always try to keep in mind. And I feel like God is revealing to me day in and day out that that's the reason you're here, is to impact souls for the kingdom and to be a blessing to others. I just thank God that I'm not where I was before, and I just think that's the process of sanctification is an ongoing thing. It's just an ongoing process of wanting to become more like Christ. Just like the Word says, if we draw near to God, He'll draw near to us. And when I start my day in the Word and come into work, I have a heavenly perspective in a way to impact somebody's life, to serve Him, to serve the kingdom. I just know that if it wasn't for Jesus, I wouldn't be where I am or doing what I'm doing today. I know that He's laid every step for me. I love how we always meet after the game and pray on the 50-yard line. We get the opportunity to go out to the field after the guys that we just battled against and just went to war against. We get to come together and deflect that glory back to God. One of my favorite verses is Romans 1:16. For I'm unashamed of the gospel, knowing that, especially in this business and this platform, that it's not the popular thing to follow Christ, but we know that that's the best thing to do. It's the best way. It's the best road. It's through Jesus. That's just the mindset that we have to have, is just to be unashamed, especially when trials and tribulations come our way. Just be unashamed.
Alex Highsmith was the recipient of the Chief Award. It honors a player who has a great working relationship with the media. Welcome back to Studio 5. As you know, music helps us to bring you this show every week, and this week's soundtrack comes from Stephen Furtick, Brandon Lake, Chandler Moore, Chris Brown, Leland Mooring, and Pat Barrett. They're all friends who've worked together on music for years. They call themselves Sons of Sunday. Take a listen and you'll hear why their new song, God Did, is what's playing in my ear this week.
Who came in the nick of time? Fire. Who healed you of your disease? Tell me who slew all these.
God did. On that musical note, we are just about out of time for this week's edition of Studio 5. So let's take a quick look at next week's rundown.
California Cowboy, Trey.
We're putting on our cowboy boots and headed to Texas for the rodeo. And we're getting a look at the history of African Americans in the sport and the entertainment industry.
Bill Pickett was one of the most prominent African American cowboys in our history.
Special one indeed. Please join us for that next week. As for this week's show, we've got time for just one more thing. I want to give the final word to Rebecca St. James.
What keeps you through this winter season that you both experienced? What sustains you?
Yeah, we talk about that winter season because I think, again, we needed all be reminded of the hope that can be found in the winter. And ours involved miscarriage, multiple miscarriages. Ours involved him parting ways with his band that was really, really difficult, and there was some betrayal there, and just kind of felt really unjust in that time. And his mom was dying. I mean, it was just like thing after thing after thing. And neither of us felt stronger than the other, in that time either. We were just like buried under pain. And I think one of the things we talk about in the book is we learned, I think, the power of curiosity. Like I talk about it being the sixth love language. There's 5 love languages, and this is like the 6th thing where like pursuing each other's hearts intentionally, even in the hard times. Because I think we naturally want to isolate and just kind of crawl into a little hole, I think, when we're feeling really down or discouraged. But to actually reach out to the other, in marriage or a friend or family member and just go, hey, I'm here. How are you doing, really? I really care. So we tried as best as we knew how. And I think, in that time and throughout our marriage, which is nearly 14 years, which is amazing. But I think also just we sought to trust the goodness of God in that time and go, hey, we don't feel like these things can be redeemed. We don't see it right now. We don't know how God's going to do it, but we do trust and know that He's good, and we're just really seeking to cling to Him together. And we saw Him bring us the spring. We've seen it. We've seen Him redeem so much. We've seen Him bring us 2 other kids since then, and just so much goodness, so much ministry that's come from that time too.
Rebecca, alongside our husband, Cubbie, thank you so much. That's a great final word for this week's edition of Studio 5 and this week's look at uplifting entertainment. Until next time, make time to uplift someone around you, and then please come on back and see where Studio 5 takes you next week. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching.